Hello Year 7, this is a take 3 of this video, just to show you that if you do fail twice at something, you can continue to try again and make your previous attempts better. Failure is never a bad thing if you change and adapt to the feedback that you give yourself. This is a video about how to locate a six-figure grid reference on this map of Harry Potter's school grounds. The lake here, you've got the Forbidden Forest and everything like that, and you've got the Hogsmeade Village. If you love Harry Potter, if you're watching it on Netflix, if you're re-watching it on Netflix, which has just been re-released on Netflix recently, or if you just generally like to read the books, this is something that's definitely for you. If you like your six-figure grid references, which I know you all do, let's have a look and see how we can complete those. So you have this on your worksheet. Hagrid's hut is what I've got highlighted, and we're going to start by looking at how we would give a four-figure grid reference for Hagrid's hut. We know where it is, so we need to say what are the four numbers associated with that grid box where we can find Hagrid's hut and most of the name of the Forbidden Forest, in fact. And we can see Grope, I think is Grop, there we go, the giant's name. So we can see the bottom of his feet. So we're looking at this particular box here. Just highlighted it so that we know exactly which box we're looking at. And the best thing you can do, if you use your blend strategy, we know that we start with the bottom left of a box, right? Bottom left corner of a box. You take your ruler, if you've got a ruler. If you don't, you try and use your eyes as best as you can. And you can go all the way down to the corridor. And this is the corridor down here. Corridor. Draw a little corridor there, and of course sometimes called the x-axis, especially if you're doing coordinates in maths. And yeah, so let's take that number and we put it over here, 17. That is the first part of our four-figure grid reference that we're going to give. We need to give the second part. The second part for Hagrid's hut is going to the bottom left corner of our box, drawing a line across to the stairs, circling that number. So that's the stairs there. Highlight that here. That's the stairs. Also sometimes called the y-axis. Just a reminder that grid references are different and that there are no minus numbers here. And we have our grid reference for Hagrid's hut, which is 1748. And it's so simple to start that off in order to get your six-figure grid reference for Hagrid's hut. So we now have an unknown for our six-figure grid reference because we know that there are two numbers missing. One after the first corridor number, one after the stairs number, and we need to figure out what those are. So in order to do that, we need to take our box, we need to divide the corridor line into two parts. This is the number 5 here. And we know that we divide the line as equally as we possibly can to show, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that we've split it so that we can add a number very, very simply here to the corridor number 17. Hagrid's hut, if we draw a line down to that line, if we draw and find that it is kind of between the 3 and the 4, so actually we can accept either of those two numbers, and I'm going to put in the number 3. I'm going to put the number on the left of any time that happens to me today. Okay, so number 3 goes and becomes the third number in our sequence here for our six-figure grid reference to locate the precise point of Hagrid's hut on the map. Now I go back and I do the exact same thing with the Y line, which is split in half now. Put the number 5. We know that that is the halfway point of that line. Divide it up equally. We got more or less 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in so we can see that nice and clearly. Alright, that we have split those up exactly along that X line as we have on the Y line, or that corridor line as we have on the stairs line. And we again go to Hagrid's hut and we draw a line across to the Y-axis. And it's going to be the number 2. It's exactly the number 2 this time. Zoom out again and we can see that our stairs number, or our y-axis number, is going to be the number 2. So the six-figure grid reference that locates exactly the coordinate for this on the map is 173. So that's 1, 7, 3, and 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 2. And if I get a larger ruler and I draw a line up, and I get a larger ruler and I draw a line across, where those two lines meet should be exactly where Hagrid's hut is, and that is exactly what has happened. So that is how to do a six-figure grid reference of Hagrid's hut. You're going to go do the rest of them yourselves. I'll be floating around the room to see if I can help anybody out. So here we go. I'm going to stop that.